We bring in our next guest here on Kansas Sports Chatter, and that guest is going to be Drew Gruver, the head coach of the Bonner Springs boys basketball team. Coach, appreciate you coming on the show. For you, obviously getting to that midway point, over the midway points of the high school basketball season, but just compare, your second year now at Bonner Springs to year number one. Like, what is that difference from year one to year two like?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me and letting us talk about our team a little bit. But first year coming in, guys are learning the system and learning what style we want to play with or what I would like for them to play with. And we hit the ground running last year with the guys. They bought into what we were trying to teach them. And then this year, with a veteran group, we have a lot of seniors on the team. A lot of basically the whole team coming back. We only lost a couple guys from last year's team. And, we're just able to kind of flow right into things and carry things over from last season. And, we had good work in the summer as well. So, and then too, you kind of get a feel for, the teams in our conference and the teams we play, having played them, last year. So it's been a smooth transition this year. And a lot of that's because we have a veteran group.
What is that like trying to bring in, a new style and trying to get that implemented within your system with those guys? Like, how tough is that, especially those first few weeks of practice last year?
Yeah. Honestly, with this group of guys, got a great group of guys to work with. They really bought into what we were trying to do. Very team-oriented guys. They don't really care who gets the credit. They just want to win basketball games. And, the style of ball we play, we try to play a fast pace and we try to move the ball and, do it together, though, do it as a team, both on the offensive end and the defensive end. And our guys, the last couple of years have really bought into that. And honestly, it's been a fairly easy process. But I think a lot of that is just the type of guys we have and the players we have that are team-oriented guys.
You talk about, getting buy-in from players and, even fan bases, I guess. But, how much nicer was it for them to see that success? You guys had a great year in your first season, getting to the state tournaments. But, how much easier was it to get buy-in when they're kind of seeing the results, I guess?
Yeah, obviously it helps when you win games and doing the stuff that we do. Again, with this group of guys, it's we've got very skilled players, guys that can, multiple guys that can score, guys that will play hard on the defensive end. And so it was, I don't want to necessarily say it was easy, but it's been a lot easier than when I've been at other places. And again, I credit that to just our guys and having that team attitude and just doing it for each other. And, it's been a fun group to coach, and I'm excited to keep it rolling here and see how we do here in the second half of the season.
Getting a taste of that success last year, and like you mentioned with the number of returners and now the experience you have this season, did you feel like the guys were kind of hungry to get back at it to start out this year?
Oh, absolutely. These guys love playing basketball. This summer they worked hard at in the off season, coming to the weight room, coming to the gym, getting in the gym and working, and we played in some tournaments and things. So they were hungry, had some obviously success last year, got to the state tournament, lost in the first round of state in the quarterfinal game to a really good Andover team. And I think that kind of just made them hungry and this offseason worked hard. And we got multiple guys that play, on travel basketball teams too. So guys were playing lots of basketball this summer and they were ready to go right from the start.
What did you take from that Andover game that's helped you out? Sometimes it's just, experience and you're just better because, you guys got older guys. But what did you take from that Andover game that kind of fueled you during the offseason?
Yeah, I think, when you get to the state tournament, everybody at the state tournament is going to be good. And, you're going to have to be on your A game. You're not going to just have easy games at the state tournament. So I think just being in that environment, getting that taste of it, having the feel for it. I think, we were a little nervous. Nerves kind of played a little part in that game a little well. I don't think we played our best game in that Andover game or played up to our potential. But, some of that is, again, Andover was a good basketball team, and they made it tough for us. So I think the guys, getting that experience and getting there, they're just hungry to get back to the state tournament and try to make a run, at a state championship, obviously, which is the ultimate goal. So,
who stood out for you this year? Has it been a team collective or any individuals that have kind of really popped off the page?
Yeah, like I said, we got a veteran group. We've got, I guess, kind of 7 seniors. We got a couple guys that are injured and aren't playing right now as far as seniors go. But it's kind of a collective effort. It really is. We've got multiple guys that can score, multiple guys that can do things, and which makes us tough to play against. Our main guys, Kellen Gruver, does a good job for us. Jason Jones, Jaden Jones. We got a transfer in, Nate Farrell from Metro Academy as well. That was nice, a nice addition. And a couple seniors off the bench. Jackson Nez, the guy that can shoot a little bit. Dion Cruz has been coming in and playing some good minutes for us as well, as far as seniors go. So and that's what we talk to our guys. If we move the ball on offense and play the right way, play together. If everyone passes to everyone when they're open, we take good shots. We've got multiple guys that can score, 20 any given night. So I'd say it's been a collective effort for us tonight. And then too, I'd just say on the defensive end, our guys have really bought in. And, defense, sometimes you don't think of it as being a team game on the defensive end, but, really good defenses, it's a team effort, and our guys have bought into that defense. And when we get rolling on the defensive end, usually the defense leads to our offense, is kind of what we say. And so it's been a collective effort, I think, as the season's gone on here.
Drew Gruver, head coach of Bonner Springs boys basketball team, joining us here on the show. You talk about defense. Any specific style that you like that's been successful with this year's team?
Well, we're predominantly a man-to-man. We play basically all man-to-man. We haven't had to throw in any zone, but and we got the guys that can defend and get up and we're more guard-oriented, guard-heavy. So, and we're all very similar in size and athletic ability. And so, we can kind of get up, defend, guard, switch things, and play that way. So, we like to get after it on the defensive end. And like I said, let that defense lead to our offense.
You talk about those guards, very interchangeable. Like, do you like that style where, there's some teams that, like, some coaches, like, I got to have a true post player, I got to have a big guy down low, or I got to have this really, really good point guard. Like, do you like, the style you guys are at? Obviously, the proof is in the pudding. You guys have been really successful, but at the same time, like, do you like just having maybe a guard-oriented team?
Yeah, that's, in high school, it's kind of what you dealt with, who you have. If we had a post player that, more of a true post player, then, we would probably have a little bit different style of play. But with this group of guys, that's what we have. We're a little more guard oriented. So that's the style we play with. So, and it works for us. We've got not necessarily big guys, but, we got some guys 6'2", 6'3" in that range and athletic. And so we can match up a little bit with some bigger guys with our athleticism and length that way. And so it's been a good style for us, and our guys have, like I said, bought into it. And it's been fun for the guys to play and fun to coach. And I think it's fun for our fans to watch as well.
Just looking at your T-shirt with the Bonner Springs basketball logo there, it reminds me of the colors of Liberal High School. I know you got started out in Liberal as an assistant coach. What did you learn there while you're spending time in Liberal?
Yeah, man, that was a long time ago. I coached under two good coaches out there when I first started. Learned a lot from those guys. Rod Briggs, who came up to the Kansas City area and had a lot of success at Lansing, was the first head coach I had, and Great mentor, guy I learned a lot from, and just learned the system, I guess, so to speak, with high school basketball and being a coach. And had some great teams out there in Liberal as well, it did help and prepare me to be a head coach, working under some good head coaches out there my first few years.
You talk about, making that switch, and it's been a while, but, making that switch from assistant to head coach. I mean, there's probably some obvious differences, but what is that transition like, just going from, being the assistant and being the main guy?
Well, it's on you. You make the decisions, and you kind of, everything falls back on you. So it's a little bit different when you're sitting over there as assistant. It's easy to give suggestions and, hey, do this, do that. If it works, great. The head coach is happy with you. If it doesn't work, then the head coach is maybe not necessarily mad at you, but it doesn't come back to the assistant coach. So and then just running the program, everything you do, it's on you, but that's why we coach. It's fun for me. It's fun to be in that situation, and it's fun to work with players and try to get them to buy into what you're doing, and when you get a group like we've got now that buys into it and carries things over from practice into the games, it's really fun to watch and really fun to be a part of.
Is scheduling any easier now that you're at Bonner Springs compared to when you're at Liberal?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit. Liberal, you had to travel a lot, long distances. We had two teams in our league that were 3 hours away, like one way, 3 hours there. We'd play the game, get on the bus, and drive 3 hours home. So travel is obviously a lot different. It's nice to only be, for the most part, 30 minutes away on road games at most. Scheduling was a little difficult out there in Liberal, just because it was a little bit bigger school, a lot of smaller schools out that direction. So we did have to travel a lot for those. So, but here, travel scheduling is a little bit easier.
Is there ever any appeal to put like some of those schools out west, like on your schedule now? Like, I mean, like scheduling Liberal, like, I don't know if it would be like a mid-season tournaments or anything like that, maybe meet halfway. Is there ever any interest? Because I know you got so many Kansas City based schools and on that east side, but ever any interest in doing that?
Yeah, well, it would be a tough sell, here with parents and everyone. We go on an hour road trip, and I don't think that's very long. And everyone here kind of, it's kind of, like, man, that's a long ways away. And I say, man, you don't have any idea. But yeah, sometimes in mid-season tournaments, you run into some of those schools a little bit farther out west that can happen. And I know Liberal, they were supposed to come to the Tonganoxie tournament this year. I think because of the weather and stuff, they didn't come. So yeah, sometimes you do run into those Western Kansas schools, and but if it happens, it'd be great. It'd be fun, for me, to play your old school, those sorts of things. But if it happens. But we're probably not going to schedule Liberal and drive across the state 6 hours, or actually probably more than that. I don't know how far it is, right. 10 hours to go play Liberal.
Probably a wise decision. Coach, appreciate the time, and best of luck the rest of the season.
You bet. Thanks for having me. And, we're excited to finish up the second half of the season and see where we're at.
It's been fun to watch. That's Drew Gruver, head coach of the Bonner Springs boys basketball team. We'll have more of the show right after this.